Concise and unambiguous phraseology used at the correct time is vital to the smooth, safe and expeditious running of an aerodrome. It is not only the means by which controllers carry out their tasks, but it also assists pilots in maintaining an awareness of other traffic in their vicinity, particularly in conditions of poor visibility. This is an example of a poor RT transmission. Controllers will not transmit to an aircraft during takeoff, the last part of the final approach, or the landing roll, unless it is necessary for safety reasons, as it may be distracting for the pilot at a time when the cockpit workload is often at its highest. Local procedures will vary from aerodrome to aerodrome. It is therefore impossible to give examples of every situation which may arise. The following sections, therefore, give examples of some of the more common RT transmissions which you will encounter at any aerodrome. Departure procedures for a VFR flight are normally very simple. However, both VFR and IFR flights should always get the latest ATIS information. Where this is not provided or available, then it may be requested.
Georgetown ground, Golf Foxtrot Hotel Juliet Mike, VFR to Collington. Request departure information.
Golf Juliet Mike. Departure runway 23. Wind 260 degrees 10 knots. QNH 1015. Temperature 19er.
Runway 23, QNH 1015, Golf Juliet Mike.
Taxi instructions issued by a controller will always contain a clearance limit, which is the point at which the aircraft must stop until further permission to proceed is given. For departing aircraft, the clearance limit will normally be the holding point of the runway in use, but it may be another point on the aerodrome depending on prevailing traffic circumstances. The following examples of RT calls illustrate some of the many situations you could experience.
Stephenville Tower, Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, Cessna 172, at the light aircraft parking area, request taxi for VFR local flight.
Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, taxi for runway 26 via taxiway Charlie to holding point Delta 1. Call approaching hold Charlie. Wind 290 degrees 8 knots. QNH 1010. Time 23.
QNH 1010. Request runway 31, Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta.
Golf Charlie Delta. Re-cleared runway 31. Call at hold Charlie. Taxi behind Warrior coming from your left. Golf Charlie Delta, re-cleared runway 3.
Holding point Charlie for runway 31, traffic in sight, Golf Charlie Delta. Stephenville Tower, Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, Cessna 172 at the fuel station, VFR to Walden. Request taxi.
Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. Taxi for runway 08 via taxiway Alpha to holding point Alpha 1. Wind 080 degrees 10 knots. QNH 1012.
Runway 08, QNH 1012, request taxiway Bravo and backtrack, Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta.
Golf Charlie Delta, approved. Taxi via Bravo, backtrack and line up runway 08.
Bravo and backtrack, runway 08, Golf Charlie Delta.
Golf Charlie Delta, expedite lineup. Traffic on final, runway 08.
Expediting Golf Charlie Delta. Kennington Tower, Golf Foxtrot Hotel Juliet Mike, at the maintenance area. Request taxi to the Flying Club.
Golf Juliet Mike, taxi via Northwest Taxiway to holding point Romeo. Hold short, runway 06.
Via Northwest Taxiway to holding point Romeo. Hold short, runway 06. Golf Juliet Mike. Golf Juliet Mike, approaching holding point Romeo, request cross runway 06.
Golf Juliet Mike, hold short, runway 06.
Holding short, Golf Juliet Mike.
Golf Juliet Mike, cross runway 06. Report vacated. Continue to Flying Club.
Crossing Golf Juliet Mike. Golf Juliet Mike vacated.
Golf Juliet Mike, roger.
When an aircraft acknowledges receipt of an ATIS broadcast, the controller does not need to pass departure information to the pilot when giving taxi instructions.
Georgetown Ground, Oxbow Tree 4 Fife, request taxi. Information Charlie.
Oxbow Tree 45, taxi for runway 23 via taxiway Juliet. Report at holding point Hotel Papa. Give way to 747 passing left to right. QNH 1019.
Holding point Hotel Papa via taxiway Juliet. QNH 1019. Traffic in sight. Oxbow Tree 4 Fife.
At busy aerodromes with separated ground and tower functions, aircraft are usually transferred to tower as they approach the holding point. Since misunderstandings in the granting and acknowledgement of takeoff clearances can have serious consequences, care must be taken to ensure that the phraseology employed during taxiing manoeuvres cannot be interpreted as takeoff clearance. Therefore, note the use of the word departure rather than takeoff.
Golf Charlie Delta, report when ready for departure.
Golf Charlie Delta, Wilco. Golf Charlie Delta, ready for departure.
Golf Charlie Delta, line up.
Line up. Golf Charlie Delta.
To avoid any possibility of misinterpretation, the words takeoff are only used when the aircraft is actually cleared for takeoff. Except in cases of emergency, controllers should not transmit to aircraft in the process of taking off or during the early stages of the climb.
Golf Charlie Delta, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, Golf Charlie Delta. Cleared for takeoff, Golf Charlie Delta.
For traffic reasons, it may be necessary for the aircraft to take off immediately after lining up. A typical example of this would be where the controller wishes the aircraft taking off to be clear of the runway to allow an aircraft on long finals to land.
Golf India Kilo, are you ready for immediate departure?
Affirm, Golf India Kilo.
Golf India Kilo, line up, be ready for immediate departure.
Lining up, Golf India Kilo.
Golf India Kilo, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, Golf India Kilo.
In poor visibility, the controller may request the pilot to report when airborne. Note that when the pilot reports airborne, he also gives the time. When the controller cannot see the aircraft, it is often helpful to report the time when a requested action has been completed.
Oxbow 345, cleared for takeoff, report airborne.
Cleared for takeoff, Wilco, Oxbow 345. Oxbow 345, airborne 57.
Oxbow 345, contact departure 121.75.
121.75, Oxbow 345.
A conditional clearance is one where a condition must be met before a clearance will be given. This type of clearance will not normally be used except when the aircraft or vehicles concerned can be seen by both the controller and the pilot. When the conditional clearance involves a departing aircraft and an arriving aircraft, it is important that the departing aircraft correctly identifies the arriving aircraft on which the conditional clearance is based. A conditional clearance will be given as follows: call sign, the condition, the clearance.
Golf India Kilo, report the Airbus on final in sight.
Airbus in sight, Golf India Kilo.
Golf India Kilo, after the landing Airbus has passed, line up and hold.
After the Airbus, line up and hold, Golf India Kilo.
When there are several runways in use, and it is possible that the pilot may be confused as to which one to use, the runway number should be stated in the takeoff clearance.
Golf India Kilo, cleared for takeoff, runway 26.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 26, Golf India Kilo.
Local departure instructions may be given with the takeoff clearance. Such instructions are normally given to ensure separation between aircraft operating in the vicinity of the aerodrome.
Oxbow 348, climb straight ahead to 2,500 feet before turning right. Cleared for takeoff.
Straight ahead 2,500 feet before turning right. Cleared for takeoff, Oxbow 348. Golf Charlie Delta, request right turn when airborne.
Golf Charlie Delta, right turn approved, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, right turn, Golf Charlie Delta.
Due to unexpected traffic developments, or a departing aircraft taking longer to take off than anticipated, it may be necessary to cancel a takeoff clearance or to free the runway quickly for landing traffic.
Golf Juliet Mike, take off immediately or hold short of runway.
Holding short, Golf Juliet Mike.
Golf Juliet Mike, take off immediately or vacate runway.
Taking off, Golf Juliet Mike.
Golf Juliet Mike, hold position. Cancel, I say again, cancel takeoff. Vehicle on runway.
Holding, Golf Juliet Mike.
When an aircraft has commenced the takeoff roll, and it is necessary for the aircraft to abandon takeoff in order to avert a dangerous traffic situation, the aircraft should be instructed to stop immediately. The instruction and call sign should be repeated.
Golf India Kilo, stop immediately. Golf India Kilo, stop immediately. Vehicle on runway.
Stopping, Golf India Kilo.
When a pilot decides to abandon takeoff, the control tower should be informed as soon as practical, and assistance or taxi instructions should be requested as required.
Oxbow Tree 4-5, stopping.
Oxbow 345, roger.
Oxbow Tree 4-5, request return to ramp.
Oxbow 345, take next right. Return to ramp. Contact ground 118.35.
Requests for circuit joining instructions should be made in sufficient time to allow for a planned entry into the circuit, taking other traffic into account. When the traffic circuit is right-hand pattern, this should be specified by air traffic control. A left-hand circuit need not be specified, although it may be advisable to do so if there has been a recent change. For example, at some airfields, the circuit direction on a particular runway may vary for noise reasons. However, if the circuit direction is not specified, you should assume that it is left-hand. As always, if in doubt, ask. Local procedures may require a variety of different RT calls in the circuit. The following examples, therefore, are intended to give an idea of the sorts of calls that are made in the visual circuit.
Walden Tower, Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, Cessna 172, 10 miles north, 2,500 feet, for landing.
Golf Charlie Delta, join downwind. Runway 02. Wind 030 degrees, 5 knots. QNH 1012.
Join downwind, runway 02, QNH 1012. Confirm left-hand circuit, Golf Charlie Delta.
Golf Charlie Delta, negative. Runway 02, right hand.
Roger, Golf Charlie Delta.
At airfields where ATIS is provided, receipt of the broadcast should be acknowledged in the initial call to the aerodrome.
Walden Tower, Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, Cessna 172, 12 miles east at 2,000 feet with information Bravo for landing.
Golf Charlie Delta, join overhead, runway 20, QNH 1007.
Runway 20, QNH 1007, Golf Charlie Delta.
Depending on prevailing traffic conditions and the direction from which an aircraft is arriving, it may be possible to give a straight-in approach.
Walden Tower, Golf Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, Cessna 172, 10 miles north, 2,500 feet for landing.
Golf Charlie Delta, make straight-in approach, runway 20. Wind 190 degrees, 5 knots, QNH 1009.
Straight in, runway 20, QNH 1009, Golf Charlie Delta.
Having joined the traffic circuit, the pilot should make routine reports as required by local procedures.
Golf Charlie Delta, downwind.
Golf Charlie Delta, number 2. Follow the Warrior on base.
Number 2, traffic in sight, Golf Charlie Delta. Golf Charlie Delta, base.
Golf Charlie Delta, report final.
Wilco, Golf Charlie Delta. Golf Charlie Delta, final.
Golf Charlie Delta, continue approach. Wind 200 degrees, 7 knots.
Continue, Golf Charlie Delta.
In order to coordinate traffic in the circuit, it may be necessary to issue delaying or expediting instructions.
Golf Charlie Delta, downwind.
Golf Charlie Delta, extend downwind. Number 2, follow Cherokee, 4 miles final.
Number 2, Cherokee in sight, Golf Charlie Delta. Golf Charlie Delta, downwind.
Golf Charlie Delta, make 1 orbit right, due traffic on runway. Report again on final.
Orbiting right, Golf Charlie Delta. Golf Charlie Delta, downwind.
Golf Charlie Delta, number 1. Make short approach. Cherokee, 6 miles final.
Short approach, Golf Charlie Delta.
A final report is made when an aircraft turns onto final within 7 kilometers or 4 nautical miles from touchdown. If and when the turn onto final is made at a greater distance, a long final report should be given. If the aircraft is making a straight-in approach, A long final report is made at about 15 kilometres or 8 nautical miles from touchdown. If no landing clearance is received at that time, a final report is made at 7 kilometres or 4 nautical miles from touchdown.
Golf India Kilo, long final.
Golf India Kilo, continue approach. Wind 260 degrees, 18 knots.
Continue, Golf India Kilo. Golf India Kilo, final.
Golf India Kilo, clear to land. Wind 270 degrees, 20 knots.
Cleared to land, Golf India Kilo.
In order to save taxiing time when flying training in the traffic circuit, pilots may ask to carry out a touch and go. The following examples illustrate 3 different responses to a request to carry out a touch and go.
Golf Charlie Delta, request touch and go.
Golf Charlie Delta, cleared touch and go.
Cleared touch and go, Golf Charlie Delta. Golf Charlie Delta, request touch and go.
Golf Charlie Delta, unable to approve due traffic congestion. Make full stop landing. Clear to land.
Clear to land for full stop, Golf Charlie Delta. Golf Charlie Delta, request touch and go.
Golf Charlie Delta, make another circuit. Report downwind.
Wilco, Golf Charlie Delta.
A pilot may request to fly past the control tower or other observation point for the purpose of visual inspection from the ground.
Golf India Kilo, request low pass, unsafe gear indication.
Golf India Kilo, cleared low pass. Runway 24, not below 500 feet. Report final.
Runway 24, not below 500 feet, Golf India Kilo.
For training purposes, a pilot may request permission to make an approach along or parallel to the runway, but without landing.
Golf Charlie Delta, request low approach, runway 24 for training.
Golf Charlie Delta, cleared low approach. Runway 24, not below 500 feet. Report final.
Runway 24, not below 500 feet, Golf Charlie Delta.
Instructions to carry out a missed approach may be given to avert an unsafe situation. When a missed approach is initiated, cockpit workload is inevitably high. Therefore, any transmissions to aircraft going around should be brief and kept to a minimum. Unless instructions are issued to the contrary, or local procedures are different, an aircraft on an instrument approach will carry out the missed approach procedure, and an aircraft operating VFR will continue in the normal traffic circuit.
Golf Juliet Mike, go around. Aircraft on runway.
Going around, Golf Juliet Mike.
If the pilot initiates the missed approach, the phrase going around must be used.
Golf Charlie Delta, going around.
Golf Charlie Delta, report downwind.
Wilco, Golf Charlie Delta. Wilco, Golf Charlie Delta.
Unless absolutely necessary, controllers should not give taxi instructions to pilots until the landing roll is complete. Unless otherwise advised, pilots should remain on tower frequency until the runway is vacated.
Golf India Kilo, vacate left.
Vacate left, Golf India Kilo.
Oxbow 345, take first left. When vacated, contact ground 118.35.
First left, 118.35. Oxbow 345. Georgetown ground, Oxbow 345, runway vacated.
Oxbow 345, taxi to stand 27 via taxiway Alpha.
Stand 27 via taxiway Alpha, Oxbow 345.
Essential aerodrome information is information concerning the manoeuvring area and its associated facilities, which affect the safe operation of aircraft. Aerodrome information should be passed to aircraft whenever possible prior to start-up or taxi, and if landing, prior to the start of the final approach. Pilots must be made aware of the information shown on this list. However, it is not exhaustive, and any information that may affect aircraft safety should be passed to the pilot at the earliest convenient opportunity. Construction or maintenance work on or immediately adjacent to the manoeuvring area. Remember that the manoeuvring area does not include the parking apron. Rough or broken surfaces on a runway or taxiway, whether marked or not. These sorts of surfaces will normally be clearly marked as soon as they are reported. Snow or ice on a runway or taxiway. Information on the amount of snow or ice will also be included if available. Water on a runway. Again, information on the amount and location will be given if available. Snowbanks or drifts adjacent to the runway or taxiway. These present a slightly different hazard to a taxiing aircraft, as low-slung engines or low wingtips may be at risk. Other temporary hazards, including parked aircraft and birds on the ground or in the air. Airfields where aircraft are parked on the grass can be hazardous, and of course birds are a constant hazard, particularly in the breeding season. Failure or irregular operation of all or part of the aerodrome lighting system. Any other pertinent information. This would include almost anything that a controller thinks might influence a pilot's course of action when taxiing.